Macon County Board of Commissioners into a meeting, and welcome everybody. This meeting, I think, has everybody ordered their food? Food order. What we'll do, we'll go around, do a little round table discussion, and then when the food comes, we'll stop and eat. How's that work?
Mr. Chairman, we do have some new faces tonight. Might take a minute for those that are not familiar. You can absolutely do it.
Why don't we start down here with Bob, and we'll go around and just introduce yourself, that way everybody knows everybody. Take a minute to do that. Tell them who you are, what grade you're in.
Well, I have a driver's license in the 6th grade. I'm Bob Scott, and I'm a town board member of Franklin.
Peggy Patterson, Town Board, Highlands.
Joe Collins, Mayor of Franklin.
Gordon Stanley, Town Board, Franklin.
Bob Copeland, Vice Chair, Macon County Commissioners. Marlon Curtis, Vice Mayor of Franklin.
Sam Greenwood, Town Manager.
Colonel Jameson, Alderman, Town of Franklin.
Kevin Corbin, Macon County Commissioner.
Bob Fry, Town Manager, Highlands.
Brian Steeler, Commissioner, Highlands, and I like long walks on the beach.
All right, he's going to fit right in. Okay, he's going to fit right
What's he
in.
got in that drink?
Yeah, I will have some of us.
Yeah.
Gary Drake, Mayor Pro Tem Highland. Barry Pearson, Hamilton Highland.
Jim Tate, Macon County Commissioner.
Jack Orton, County Manager of Macon County. And Bob, you say you wouldn't do the 5th grade?
No, I have a driver's license in the 5th grade.
You wouldn't like that other guy was in our class who, when he graduated in 3rd grade, he got so excited he cut himself shaving. But
I knew it.
Yeah. 3 best years of his life.
Ran around with it.
I'm Ron Taylor, County Commissioner.
Lori Paul, Finance Director, Macon County.
Buzz Dodson, County Highlands Commissioner. Chester Jones, Interim County Attorney.
Mike Decker with Macon County.
Ronnie Bill. I think that's all of it.
Sissy had her knee worked on today, and I think it's about as good as you can do. Like, man, that won't be undertaken.
Yeah, she
sounded good. She has to stay off of it at least 4 days, they said.
What was it? Do you know the scope?
Scope, cleaning out, they said it was in real bad shape, so.
And Billy Mashburn had a conflict came up, and he had to take care of and give his regrets. I guess otherwise we're counted for.
Tell them we missed you.
Yeah.
We'll probably just start, we'll have a report from each of the governmental bodies, and then we'll just open up for whatever discussion we need. I think, Gary, if you want to start with the Town of Highlands, give us a little update where you guys are.
We're on class.
Yeah. Up 10 boards, right?
I was going to, you just met our 2 new commissioners, Brian and Eric, and Commissioner Dotson is on his, he's now a sophomore as commissioners or something senior, so he's re-elected, so we're glad to have him back on the board. And since we met the last time also, we've, we don't do a whole lot in Highlands, but we've hired a new town manager who's Bob Fry, just introduced himself. We're glad to have him on. He came on in about the middle of January. We've also hired a new rec director, Lester Norris. He came out of Georgia. He was actually did his internship up in the Highlands. We're glad to have Lester on board for the rec center. He's going to be hollering at Mr. Chairman for a lot more money this year. We're needing up there in the rec center. We finished up our Mirror Lake sewer project last month. That's done. That gives us about 35% of the town that's now sewers, which we're real proud of. We're putting in radio read water meters, and we're about 98% complete on those. And hopefully we'll find some of that lost water that we've been looking for a while. So they seem to be working real well for us. That was about $800,000 project. So we're hopefully recoup some of that money on being able to charge some of that water that's been lost in the past. So maybe Jimmy Tate's houses and one of those old meters. Our last meeting this week, we did finally, after 4 years, Buzz, we adopted the UDO, so something like that. So it's got adopted, so we're, it's a living document, but we finally got that passed and got our ordinances into one book. So unified development ordinance. So it puts everything, all our 8 books into one book, so it's much easier for people to find. A couple of just little small items for non-government. We have 2 major projects going on in Highlands. For One is the old lady inn. They're adding 23 rooms. It'll be 2013 before they are finished. So that's going to be very nice. They had last year, they had 300 days that they were fully occupied. So that's the reason they decided they needed more rooms. And which is awesome. And John McColley is finishing up a big project there in the center of town. Really going to make it great when he's finished there. So looking forward to that. Thank you all for inviting us down. We're glad to be here.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate the town of Highlands being here. Very much. Any other
Vice Mayor, is the folks starting to come in pretty good?
They're starting to trickle in a little bit.
Or did they ever leave? I mean, it looks like to me every time I look at it.
I wondered at some this past winter because it has been quite cool. It really has. Of course, it's gotten real hot in Florida already, so they're coming up.
Good deal.
I know Jimmy and I have talked, we were growing up, Highlands, Franklin was too, but Highlands especially, you could shoot shotgun down Main Street, you know, from what, November till March, not hit anybody. Boy, it's different now, it's a different world, isn't it?
It sure is a different world. And you know, we're having, because of that, we're also having some restaurants staying open all year now, which makes it a lot nicer. So people do come up, they've got a place to go eat. So. And Napoleon is one of them. He said if he did so well this winter, he's definitely staying open next year. So that's good for us. Good for the town. We need tax money.
Yeah, which one is John on?
I'm sorry?
Which, you say Napoleon's got a restaurant up there?
No, he is, you know where the old motel used to be?
Kilwins, where Kilwins
Where Kilwins is, that development, he tore all those buildings down and redoing them. So, and there is a restaurant moving into there, Wild House is moving into there. So, yeah. But it's really adding to the center of town. It's really going to be nice. So looking forward to that. I think he's sometime about the middle of May. And I did forget one other thing. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. We do have, we are probably the only town in the country that is building the new post office.
That's a safe
and there is
a nice one.
Right, a very nice one, and the dedication is going to be on June the 15th, and everybody is invited. You will be getting a invitation.
This is the only post office in the country with bathrooms.
Yep, they're blocked off.
Yeah.
They are blocked off.
Yeah. And I'd say one of the nicest post offices.
Bathrooms are blocked off.
What could our bathrooms?
No post
blocked
office
off?
has ever had bathrooms.
Well, you're not, you're talking
For the
public.
for the public.
They're going to block them off. Yeah, it's going to be, but it's a beautiful building. And the other thing, the state has, I forgot about that too. The state is coming in. They're going to rework the intersection with the red lights and all that. Once that's finished, then we'll put the brick sidewalks around. So it's really going to enhance that area. So they finally gave us an okay on that, right? It has been approved.
Greg, I think you've got a new person you might need to introduce to everybody. I know he introduced himself, but this is his first meeting.
Yeah, it is first meeting. Our new town manager, Bob Fry, he's from Sawmill, North Carolina. Everybody knows where Sawmill is, right?
Where's that at, Bob?
Jack can tell you.
I can tell you.
Actually, it's Colo County. And actually, I encountered Jack when he was the manager.
When I first met him,
we don't know whether that's good or bad.
I can tell you this, when I first met Bob, he was 6'3", weighed 280. I don't know, something about it that worried me.
Something happened to him.
We're glad to have him here. Bob was very deep. He's also been a county administrator. He was assistant manager at Baldwin County. He knows both city and county.
Then I got a real job working for the town.
You may be speechless there, Bob. We're real glad to have Bob, and he's got a hands full, and but he found out real fast that we've got some great employees that he's managing, so we're real glad to have him on board. Now, if you don't know what north of Charlotte, I guess it is a little bit, so.
It's actually Cole County, which is between Lenore and Bay Creek, and it's about 2 hours from Charlotte.
He bought a home, we're buying a home down in Turtle Pond.
Anything else?
No, it's just, unless you know, when the guys are actually gonna start working hard on dry falls, they seem like they cut a board about every 3 days, and that's about all they're doing right now. Are they still on the date to complete that? As far as you know?
Yeah.
That's all I've got. Thank you very much.
Gary, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Does the state DOT do any work on a truck turnaround up there, or they already started that, or?
We've heard rumors of it, but they really haven't started yet. They haven't purchased the land or anything else. They've got the sites picked out, but.
Whether they get them or not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not, don't like the one of them, they've got right in the middle of the curve.
But they have put new signs up, so if you give us anything, past the intersection area, the new post office is over 20,000
Okay, thanks, sir. Mr. Chairman, appreciate it.
Anybody else from Highlands have anything to add? Board members?
I'll mention, the state of Georgia threw us a curveball this year. They're redoing our main entrance from the Atlanta byway, redoing the bridge and pillar on 246. To start next week, basically one of our roads closed down, so you'll probably see a lot more people coming through Franklin. As they miss that road, we've already heard people talking about it. There are little ways to get around, they're advertising it, but.
Well, the town and chamber
I had
jumped
two
on that
members
too.
this week, both of them missed the road, didn't see the sign, one on the
June 25th is when it's supposed to be finished.
It's better marked now. The Chamber of Commerce and Bob and the mayor got.
Jack right there.
We've got some more temporary.
Ron?
Right next to it.
Ron?
Brother, we want to, Joe, you and Sam don't have your food yet. One of you guys want to give us a report?
I ain't got much to say. It's not too good. Let's see, it's Indians and firewater and outlaws. We've gone and sprayed the Indian mound under the plan to make it a little less maintenance. We're getting rid of the grass. We're gonna rake it out good and hydro spray some type of grass on it that grows to, it gets good and thick, and then it's supposed to stop growing and just look pretty. But it would ultimately allow us to, I mean, it's punishment for those men. They're not spring chickens, most of our guys working. You put a couple of other big boys with a push mower up there on top of Town Mountain, of Indian Mound, and it absolutely will just wear you and the mowers out, and it is hard on the mound too. But anyway, we've got the, I'm sure that there's already been some spokesman from the Eastern Band that is not happy with that approach, but you've got to just, move lightly on that. And then, we're trying to settle in on the issue involving the relocation of the ABC store, and you might guess that's not the most homogeneous of all issues, so there's a lot of struggle around that. And now they're trying to finalize some way to get a biker rally in town, which is the TDA has supported it, and I sense that the town is willing to try it. But then the promoter shows up and says he wants to shut down Main Street from Thursday night till Sunday morning, and so we kind of stopped it right there. And so now the promoter presumably is working with the new police chief, David Adams. We hired him fairly recently. He's a good hire from Hendersonville. He took office last month. We also snagged another man from the county along the way, Derek Rowland, as our town planner.
We keep training them for you. We trained your managers, your planners.
I know it.
We'll keep training them for you. As long as you keep them Macon County, that's all we give them.
We reserve the right to get Derek back sometime.
Okay.
So you know.
Okay, understood. But between the firewater and the Indians and the bikers, that's just not stuff that we normally have that's not normally what you think of when you think of Franklin, but we're kind of in that hump right now. Now, if anybody on the board or Sam wants to put some lipstick on that, or otherwise tell them some more things that we,
I think you licked that calf just fine, Joe.
lick that cat. I think the former mayor used to use that term quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's,
The alderman did take action to help the county balance its budget. And I'm sure we'll be appreciative of that, although we expected steak tonight. You guys
That's what I
have all
ordered.
that extra money.
That's what I ordered.
what that your menu?
Didn't get here. The other thing is we're having our sewer plant renovation projects, about a $6.5 million project. We'll be starting about the middle of May. So there's a long overdue project underway. Other than that, we're just trying to get along.
Joe, anything else?
No.
Any board member, Bob?
We noticed that your manager said the county needed to be getting more involved with the water and sewer. You gonna start sending out the bill, Sam, or what are you gonna start doing?
Getting more involved with water.
You said in the paper that we need to get more involved, the county need to get more involved.
Oh, yeah.
So do y'all wanna send out the bills, or what are you gonna do?
Well, actually, we would expect something like that, but if you want to come down and bring your pencil and start filling them out, I'll find a chair for you.
Well, I mean, really,
At least a package
whatever the
for you.
county needs to do to get more involved, I don't know how we can get more involved, but we'll try to.
Well, you know, something's going to fall to the counties, and that's economic development outside the towns once the General Assembly formally polishes up its removal of the annexation authority of municipalities. Economic development outside the town limits is going to start falling more and more on the counties. So actually, you all are going to get more involved in some of the mundane things that used to be left to municipalities to provide for economic development purposes.
So we need to start looking for our own water and sewer. Is that
Well,
right?
you will need to start evaluating along with the towns. We've already started an internal process of looking at where the allocations of water and sewer go and all that stuff as far as development purposes. But I'd say that the economic development used to be done in that zone in North Carolina, just outside the municipalities for the most part. And the actions of the General Assembly are removing that.
Things, our county is very active in North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. And I'll mention Mr. Beal in a minute, but he's been very involved in it. We involved in that group. They set legislative goals, and we all participated in that. There's 5 things I think that we set as priorities to have legislative goals in North Carolina. Oppose the shift of transportation responsibilities to counties. I think, Ronnie, we beat that one. I don't think that's going to happen. But if you don't think the Association of County Commissioners has any influence, when you've got a group of 100 counties and they're all standing arm in arm, it makes a big difference. So we did oppose the state shifts that to counties, and it looks like they're not going to do that. Also to reinstate ADM and lottery funds for school construction, and we'll sort of hit on that in just a minute, how that's affected Macon County. Ensure adequate mental health funding, preserve existing local revenue base, and authorize local revenue options. Those were 5 things that we identified as priorities. And I'll go ahead and mention that most of you probably saw the news. Ronnie Beal, who's been very active in that group, ran forward and was elected, and we all campaigned for him to get elected to
He says that now.
as second vice president of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. So if everything goes according to the plan, he will be the president of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners in 3 years. So looking forward to that. Ronnie, you have anything to add about the what
Well, just on the ADM, just to remind everybody that the lottery money on the agreement, the legislature and everybody has passed, we would receive 40%. 40% would have been about 140 million. When that legislation first came out, they had dropped it to 50 million. A lot of Macon County and all the other counties went back, and we ended up getting 100 million out of the. We're still short, Jack. But we did meet with the speaker yesterday, And we did bring up the ADM money again. The original agreement had supposed to be divvied up, so we're glad to get, you say that, but it's true, we're glad to get that. And just yesterday, the meeting basically consisted of with the speaker, all the officers met with the Speaker of the House, and it's going to be a very, very short session. I think you'll see the General Assembly be gone by probably toward the third week in June. The committees continue to work on everything. We talked about some tax reform yesterday. We talked about, of course, the governor proposed a 3/4 cent to go to education. That's DOA in the legislature, and everybody knows that. But I think we'll see some tax reform legislation coming out after not the short session, but the long session. What we really worked on is, I don't know if y'all familiar, it's called Senate Bill 433. Senate Bill 433, it gives the counties latitude for health boards and Department of Social Service boards and other boards that's due with human services to be combined. If you would like to do that, it gives the county the option. I don't think none of us in Macon County would like to do that at this time. And now there's a lot of counties that would like to do that. They think it saves them time and money, and they like to combine that together. So I think you will see that in the short session. It's done been passed. I think there was just 3 votes shy of getting it passed last time. I think it will go through this time. So I think that's probably the biggest thing you'll see in the short session currently. Some of the other things the counties are looking at, of course, is our school budget. And we did have that discussion there yesterday, and all the counties are just like Macon County. We just can't assume the reoccurring costs. And what it be for teachers, I think Macon County does as much as, if not more than a lot of counties do for teachers. The reoccurring costs is what we talked about yesterday. So, but if you have anything in your town, Joe or Mr. Vice Mayor, that is something that you need brought forward that you think we can take down there and work on, we're more than happy to take. We're not, I'm going to do a shout out. But I do want to say that it's good to see Eric Pearson and Ryan here. That Ryan just had to retire the place where I played golf. That's how I know Ryan. But I've had the privilege of working with Eric Pearson for many years on some different subjects, and I think Mr. Vice Mayor, you've got a good work. And congratulations to you all, and I think you've got some work. So Eric, you just have to lay in.
Thank you, Commissioner Bill. This is, in 2011 was since last time we got together. We just reviewed the year a little bit. Been a year of transition. Myself and Mr. Haven came on a little over a year ago, so we're pretty new. And then we had, with the unfortunate, there's the fortunate, and I think we all know what happened with Commissioner McClellan. He's a good friend and was a wonderful commissioner from Highlands. And with that situation, we supported his decision to leave. Thought he made the right decision, and we've had a chance to talk to him several times since, and he's doing very well. But out of that tragic situation, we've got a wonderful commissioner from District 1, and that's Jimmy Tate. And he has hit the ground running, and in my opinion, is an absolutely wonderful commissioner. I don't want to speak for the others, but I think we'd all agree he's done a good job for us. So Jimmy, we're glad to have you. We're letting folks in Highlands know he's an excellent representative for your end of the county. We appreciate him a lot. We've had some transition. Wilma Anderson and Evelyn Southern leaving, 2 long-time employees. I guess between those, probably 60 years or better with the county. So that was a lot of experience to lose. But with that, we've picked up some good folks, i.e. Mike Decker. We had him come on board with us early last year. Then late last year, we had Lori Hall join us as our finance director, and she's done a super job. So we're glad to have both these folks. So we've got a lot of new faces in the past year, but it's been a good thing, and we're thankful for that. We had a couple of employees stolen that went to the town. I didn't say that. Warren Cave and Derek Rowe And then, of course, we had Trevor Dalton, who left the EDC job, and with his absence came Tommy Jenkins. And we changed a few things around. They're now reporting to us monthly, bringing us reports about what's going on. There's a lot of activity. We've been able to start, Jack, I believe it's 4 or 5 businesses out of the incubator facility.
5 out there now.
5. So, which has been, in this kind of economy, you take what you get, Joe, you preserve what you've got, and you start building where you can, and that's what we're doing. So, we're excited too. There's some things we can't talk about, but there's some possibilities for some high-tech growth here, some more like software, high-tech computer type companies. There's something in the works now that we may be able to develop some of that because of the Boston West, because of our high-speed internet. So we're very thankful for that. A lot of opportunities on the horizon.
Sharon, also, I want to mention about Biz Week and how that turned out.
Biz Week, it just concluded. It was a week of activities. They had an entrepreneurial contest. I guess you saw that in the paper. Had a young man that invented, I believe it was a lip balm.
Lip balm.
Lip balm. But he won $1,000 for the development of that. That's a great thing. Had several other activities. Had Keith Crisco was here on Thursday night, spoke to a large group. I don't know how many were there. It's 200, 250. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
Good crowd. Yeah.
Kevin's church hosted it.
Yeah. It was very well attended, and that was good. So I feel like we got some really positive things going. It's, I said the other day, it's hard to, you have to figure where this economy, how we got into this, and we didn't cause the unemployment we have here. It caused a lot of things that happened or didn't happen in Washington or Wall Street. We understand that, but we can do what we can do to help here, and so we're doing that, and hopefully move in the right direction. We got several capital projects that are underway and being completed, and I'll say Jack's been a part of this, Sam's been a part of this. Several of us in the county, if you have to go back almost 20 years, we started a long-range school plan right about 20 years ago, nearly 20 years ago. And we started with some renovations, a new building at the high school, South Macon, Cartuga J, renovations in Highlands, had the middle school in Highlands, renovated most of the schools, then came the 5-6 school, and now the final project is the Iowa school. And so when that's completed, that's been about 18 years worth of a long-range plan that's now coming to fruition. And a lot of us took some licks. We started that, but I'm glad we did it.
It's taking some courage to do that.
What if we hadn't? And what if we hadn't? So we're in good shape. We're all under good roofs now, and you got schools that are probably 50+ year schools that are all in real good shape. The Iowa school, we're supposed to get the keys for that around the first week of July. Still.
Yeah, well, right now the substantial completion date is June 18th, so June 22nd, maybe. So
contractors always fit church, don't they, Ron?
Oh, yeah. And then under
I'll have to say these projects have been on time and on budget, or under budget, actually. So that's been a good thing, and we'll occupy that school this fall. And for the first time in probably 30 years, there won't be a single student in Macon County in a trailer. Not one student. First time in 30 years. It's taken a long time. We've paid as we have gone. We now have these loans that we've taken out. A lot of them are very low interest. I think we've got loans that are 0.4%. Is that right, Lord? 0.48. I'd like to get some of that money, but anyway, it's all good. Our kids are taken care of. We are. As Ronnie alluded to, the biggest challenge I think we've got as a county is facing the school system. And I agree with Ronnie. I don't think we can let the state dump recurring expenses on us. So we're going to have to decide what we can do. And I think we've talked about it enough that I can talk about the technology a little bit. Our technology in our schools, because of the cut of ADM money, because of the loss of the public school capital fund, which was some matching money the county had used, and we started this back in about 2000 or 2001. Actually, about the time Lonnie Crawford left and Dr. Shotwell got here, some of you remember that. We were 80th in computer to connectivity out of 100 counties. We were 80th. So our goal was to move up. We moved up and we're now 11th. Is that right?
I think it is.
11th or 9th. It's an odd number, but we're in the top few. But we're going to lose that because we have not funded that the last several years because the county's been putting money into the new schools, been funding that, didn't want to raise taxes, lost the ADM money, which was used for computers. So what's happened is that we were on a 5-year rotation to replace the computers. Now, because of that lag of funding, we're on a 9-year rotation. So how many of y'all using a 9-year-old computer? How good would it be? I just replaced mine in my office. I had it 4 years, and I was so glad to trade me in the paperweight.
You still get American Bandstand. This car, he died, right?
Yeah. So I think we're.
That's where I learned to dance. American Bandstand. Watching it.
But I think, I certainly can't speak for the other commissioners, but I am certainly in favor myself of moving ahead with trying to help the schools out some. We've been very fortunate, and Jack, I'll brag on you in our county. Our financial position has been very good. We've held our budget down. Actually, our budget this year is about 15% lower than it was 5 years ago. And we have a healthy fund balance. It's about $14.5 million. And we try to maintain that at 25%. It's about 33. And probably we'll use some of that to balance our budget this year. And but not toward recurring expenses, Joe, because you can't use your savings account to pay the power bill. You use your savings account to pay one-time expenses. And so I'm hoping we'll look at helping the schools maybe over a 2-year period. That'd be my suggestion anyway, that we try to help them over a 2-year period to get those computers back to that 5-year rotation. And if you don't have more than that is, if you have not been to school yourself lately or don't have a kid or grandkid in school, if the technology is behind in the school system, the kids are behind. That's just the way it is. And that would be very unfortunate. So I think that'll be a goal of our board.
Additionally, there's some requirements going to be levied by the state in the next 2 years.
Go ahead and explain that.
What it is the state is moving towards doing all assessments online, which makes sense from their perspective because it's a whole lot cheaper to do it that way than to print 800,000 tests. It makes perfect sense. You got 2 problems with that. We have one of the problems is that some counties don't have the bandwidth to support that. So even if they had the computers, they would struggle with the bandwidth because they don't have the internet connection connectivity we've got. Most counties have that and they're on the state system. So bandwidth, I asked that question the other day. Bandwidth's not an issue. Tim Burrow explained that to me. We'll be able to get the bandwidth. But bandwidth doesn't help you if you don't have enough computers. And they did a quick count. I'm going to take them at their word. I can testify the high school doesn't have enough computers to do it. That if they tried to do a set of EOGs, that it would take 6 weeks to get everybody through with the number of computers that are currently out there. Not my numbers, school board's numbers. So if I misquoted them, they can yell at me. But that's what we were told the other night at the meeting. So with that requirement coming down and a need to get back on a 5-year plan, one of the things, as the chairman said, we've been kicking around is can you mesh those 2 plans and is there some savings trying to go both ways at the same time? Because the 2 plans seem to fit into one another. You're going to have to expand the number of computers you got. What it means is you're going to have to plan, and that's what they're doing right now. I was just talking to Mr. Pearl the other day. What kind of computers, what kind of technology are you going to buy? Obviously, for testing purposes, assuming the state cooperates, iPads are the answer. But iPads can't do some of the things that you need technology to do in the other areas. And so they've got to figure out the plan. They've got to figure out the mix. And I think they will, and then it's just a matter of can we make that work. But that's kind of where we are. And that requirement is going to come down from the state eventually. May not make it by 14. That's their plan right now. If they get enough screaming from enough counties, they may throw their hands up. But it would be nice to be on the front edge of that.
And because of that, we're looking at the possibility of funding that over a 2-year period in two budget years, so it wouldn't be too much of an expense at one time. We did, you guys, of course, understand, read the paper, we postponed the revaluation that was going to be in 2015, put it off to the 8-year cycle. That was a tough decision. It wasn't an easy decision. Finally, I think it came down to, we asked Richard Leitner if he could do an accurate reval, and he said no. And And so we decided to, in the interest of folks being fair, trying to be as fair as we could with the reval, we decided to put that off another 2 years. So, you know, we did that. We did pass the comprehensive development plan, comprehensive transportation plan, which was required in order to continue to receive state funding for highways. Dialysis center. Our commissioners have been very involved in several things that we've tried to help the community as we've reached out for things like this dialysis center. And Ronnie worked very hard on that. We were approved for the dialysis center. Ronnie, why don't you give us a quick update where that is?
Everybody be sure to mark the calendar like every elected official. Please try to be at our public hearing. It's on May 15th at 12:30 in the courtroom, the large courtroom, the courthouse. We had two folks, we've been approved for the dialysis center. Now we had two vendors. Let me back up. The dialysis is really, really closely monitored and regulated in North Carolina, as anything restricted to be. So we had two companies who put in an application. Now we will hear, they want to come to the community, the folks Raleigh will come. You'll hear from both of those companies as well as you'll hear from a lot of folks. I mailed out 18 letters today to people who are just stage 4. They're not receiving dialysis, but they're Macon County residents. And these are folks who I didn't get a letter from. This is not counting the 26 letters I got from before. So we sent in more letters today for them to send in for written comment by the end of the month. So please mark it on your calendar. After the public hearing, we've asked that because of Macon County's need and circumstances, that it be expedited. We've been given assurance that we will certainly be watching that closely. We did talk to them again yesterday about that. And so the public hearing is next. Each company had to identify 2 locations that would have to be approved through the application. We got an application today. I left it from Mr. Jones. I had never read the application. I still ain't got to do that. We'll let Chester do it. But the dialysis center, I was motivated by 2 folks that you all know well. One was Gladys Wright, the late Gladys Wright, who was receiving treatment, called me to her house to explain that to me. And of course, the other one is Larry Floyd. For y'all who don't know Larry, he's a local pharmacist. Was in really bad shape with kidney disease, was on treatment, but received a kidney from his sister-in-law. Now he's doing wonderful now. So
he says he has to carry a purse when he goes to the bathroom.
That's right. He did mention that. We've identified people from the folks.
He did that before.
We've gotten letters from folks who own second homes, Gary and Highlands. They said that one of the reasons they couldn't come and enjoy their home was because of the need for dialysis. So we'll have some transportation, so we're looking forward when that center gets open, but we have to take it step by step. It moves sort of slow, but we're going to keep working on it. But in the future, it could be a great benefit to our citizens as we all continue to get the load.
We were a loan shop.
Yes, we were.
Oh, it's virtually impossible.
And they first said no, and then
they first said no. We kept showing up.
Lonnie doesn't hear that, dude.
We kept showing up.
But that's been an excellent thing. One thing I was talking about the finances. The county is in good financial shape, and this past year, our credit rating was improved from an A lowered to an A+. So we've got a very high credit. I think we're higher than the federal government's credit rating now.
That's not hard to do.
I wouldn't be bragging. But we actually do something unique. We balance our budget every year. I think that's about it. We talk about the schools a lot. We have finished up the school plan. We just have some numbers here about how much we spend on the schools. I will just mention what an investment Macon County has made into our schools. We spend about 47%. Is that still right, Jack? Of our budget on schools, either directly or indirectly. That's through debt service or through direct funding to schools. So we've made a commitment to Macon County schools.
Mr. Chairman, there's one school you left out. And I kind of feel obligated to mention it.
Nana Hill?
No, not Nana Hill. You mentioned Nana Hill. Cowee.
Okay.
those of you that don't know, the other side of the story when Iola Valley opens is that Cowee is going to close. And if you've never seen, if you're not from the valley and you've never been out there to look at that school, it was the last one, I think, that was built by the CCC, if I'm not mistaken. WPA, not CCC, WPA.
1941.
And it is historical in and of itself. There's been a lot of work done, and you're going to hear and read a lot more work done, that they've been working very hard. The community is deeply involved. They're fundraising. They're trying to get money together. There's a lot of people interested. We've got a lot of folks looking at different ways to use that school. The only reason I bring it up is that if you think you'd like to get a dog in that fight, you're certainly invited. We meet about once a month. Probably start meeting twice a month as we get closer to having that school. And I think it's important because the goal of the group that Mr. Beal organized and I kind of tied into when I came on the board, the goal of that group is not to make this just a Cowee deal. This is a county deal. This is a deal that could be a destination. It can be a place that got a full industrial kitchen out there that's probably in better shape than most of them that you're going to find in the county. The school has been maintained unbelievably well. It's in tremendous shape. And we just think that it can be a tremendous asset to the county, and we want to make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned as we look for ideas of what we can do out there. So if you haven't come to one of the meetings, you're more than welcome. We just had one, and I'm not sure when the next one is. I'm not sure they set a date yet, Ronnie, but as soon as I do, we'll try to get that on the webpage. But, you know, if you have some thoughts, you know, call me, call Ronnie, let us know, because we've got Southwesterns out there. Eastern Band is interested. The Quilters of Cowee Valley are very interested. You've got businesses that are looking to maybe use that kitchen for preserving stuff and not preserving stuff, canning stuff, and small business that might be able to percolate a little bit out there to fix their food that they grow. So a lot of things are in the works. Business plans being drawn up right now. Stacy Guthrie is working on that in coordination. Well, actually, it was contracted out by LTLT. And so that's what we're doing. I'm real proud of it. I'm a little biased because that's my district, but I think it's more than my district. And I think the county we need to make sure we got all the good ideas we can get, because that place can be a tremendous asset from an economic development standpoint, from a cultural heritage standpoint, and from a community standpoint. And so I'd just like to encourage anybody, if you've got some thoughts, there's nothing in stone except the building and the rocks that put together. Everything else is flexible. So please let us know if you've got something. And I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
County School.
That's fine.
It's important.
And that'll happen about the 1st of July. That campus will be vacated. Also, those mobile units, there'll be some need. We've had a few requests for, I know there's a need in Nantahala for maybe some more library space. And there's some other. So if you know anybody with needs for those mobile units, we'll need to use those for something other than students, which I'm thankful for. So.
How many of them? 16?
What's that, Ron?
How many were there?
At Cowee?
Yeah. Somebody said 16.
You may be right. I don't know. Too many to count. Taking up left field and right field.
I've not counted, but they moved all that. If you remember, there were a number up at Iowa, and so when the construction was started, all of them from there were moved to Cowee, plus an additional one or two. So I don't know.
Franklin too. You have a bunch of them.
It's double digits at least.
Is there any market for those things?
Not much. The time you move again, Joe, this, they've been
$3,500 a piece of road. That is if you don't want to go too far.
Yeah.
You don't want to put them a long way.
Yeah. They're decent buildings, but you know, you get the money out of them, they're not worth anything. That's all I had. Jack, do you have anything else to
I
add?
want to mention one thing, and I think we'll put it on the calendar if we would, and Ronnie can speak to this if we would, but next week we're going to dedicate our Senior Services Community Resource Center. You want to speak to that, Ronnie?
Well, I'm not sure that maybe some folks from Highlands don't know John and Dorothy Crawford. If you don't know John and Dorothy Crawford, Dorothy is a young 93. John is...
He's 93.
93, or he just turned 94. No, excuse me. Dorothy has a birthday next year. Yeah. She turns 94.
She'll be 94, he's still 94.
So, but Dorothy Crawford has worked, she's retired from DSS here in Macon County. She's worked for Macon County families literally for, I guess, over 60 years. I mean, literally. And she's very involved, still today very involved, in the senior citizens, and she's still serves on several committees in Raleigh, still very active. So we felt it appropriate to honor Dorothy and John Crawford. Now, why is John Crawford's name associated with that? Because he drives Miss Dorothy. And they're a pair, and they're a wonderful couple. And so next Friday, 2 weeks from this Friday at 2 o'clock, that's at the Senior Services Center and the Resource Center. We will be naming that in honor of Dorothy Rose Crawford and John L. Crawford. So we would love to have y'all come down and visit. I think, saying that's what the budget was for food, I think there's going to be some Walmart cookies apparently and Kool-Aid. So we'll have a nice time, and there'll be some very special guests here to speak on their behalf. We are a little bit worried about the parking situation, but we'll figure that out as we go along, I guess. And but please come down, because Ed left. Most of these folks around the table have known them for many years now, and the work that they've done. They're still. I sat with Miss Dorothy on the LME board at 93 years old. We just sat. This is where it sort of came to me that me and this lady sat there for 6.5 hours. If you've never sat through a mental health meeting for 6.5 hours, you ain't never lived. And Dorothy was just as sharp and people, and I just, but they're an amazing couple, and we feel honored to honor them.
Been married 70 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Married 70 years.
And John will probably show up in his Air Force blues.
Yeah.
And he can still wear them, by the way.
Carry half the food home with him.
And let me mention one other thing that's very important. Macon County is hosting tomorrow is the Special Olympics, which is if you've never been to one of those, it's a special event. And it's, I know Graham County's going to be here, Cherokee, Graham, several western counties, and Swain. So I believe it starts at 10 o'clock, and it's at Macon.
I think there's over 260.
Yeah.
260, I think, is the athletes will be.
And a lot of people, the county, the sheriff's department's very involved. I think several of us commissioners are going to be there helping out with it. I think Joe's going to be there.
That's big, yeah.
It's a big deal.
And let me tell you something else that you've probably not heard about. This is something new that we worked on and worked hard with the state. It's going to happen Saturday. And we're going to take 14 severely handicapped kids turkey hunting. We've got blind kids. We've got kids that are in wheelchairs. We've got kids that are severely with muscular dystrophy. There's 14 total. We're going to have lunch. You're all invited to lunch at the Franklin Fire Department. We'll probably have them all back in by 12 o'clock. And that starts Saturday. This is one of the first times it's ever been. It's in conjunction with the Wildlife Commission of North Carolina. Of course, all the game wardens are involved. A lot of the law enforcement officers from Macon County are involved. It's a special day for these kids, and we have some employees in Macon County who have some very handicapped children. They're going to be there, and so not only the Special Olympics, but this is if we can get through Saturday and everything goes well, we think we'll have permission to do a deer hunt for them in the fall. So. But it's a special day for these kids. I mean, if you want to, we met with them. They've got to go shoot now. They've each one shot a guns, even those that's visually impaired. And we have special things and special ways that these kids are actually going to be hunting. I mean, and we got some great people. There's a great turkey already called in that parking lot, I believe. But if you're around the fire department. It'll be a great lunch with hamburgers and hot dogs. I'll throw in a plug for 9 Highlands meats that's helping us with that. So, but if you're around Saturday and you want to see some special kids, it's had a special morning. I'd encourage you to come by and see that.
Super.
Very good.
There were some of the things, I think,
go ahead.
there were some of the things that you'd already had mentioned, so I won't especially that dialysis center. We're really proud of it. Thanks, Ronnie, for all the work that you've done on that. And I know it's great. And I want to thank every one of you that's in here because a lot of the public don't know what all of us are doing out here. They think we just gather up and sit and eat barbecue or something like that. But I thank all you officials in every department. It's great to have a good relationship for us to sit down and talk about some things. I want to invite any of you that wants to come when we have our county board meetings to stop in and join some of us. And I want to stop in too with occasionally the City Hall meeting in Franklin and Highlands. Talking about some of the people you were talking about on the dialysis center. Hey, Vince West, he's on dialysis, one of the leading citizens over there on several volunteer boards he's been on, and I'm really proud of him. But anyway, I'd like us all to be able to work together, and I enjoy sitting talking. I've got a lot of friends on different boards, and it's an honor to get to sit and talk with them and look over some of the things we have done and share ideas with each other. Also, there's one thing too with the town that I'd like to bring up is there's an opportunity to do something about that operating road. I personally think it's kind of disgraceful, it's the shape it's in, and I'd love to see something done about that. If any of us or all of us can sit and talk about something like that, it'd be great. Anyway, yes, we're working hard, and I hope that everyone else is trying to do the same thing, keep the budgets as low as we can. I know we got hit with a bunch of numbers out here, and I've got some of them as well, both of them over in the school. It's going to make it tough, but I'd like to say again, I thank each and every one of you for the work you do in Macon County, town of Highlands, and town of Franklin.
Thank you, Commissioner. Jack, you have anything else?
Just kind of echo a little bit of what Ron was saying there. We started getting together as a county and the municipality. This is our fifth year doing this when I came back over here in 2008. It's been a lot of faces have changed over the past 5 years. A lot of them still the same. But one thing that has remained the same is the fact that we can sit down and talk about all the things that are going on in the municipalities and the county and how it affects our citizens that we work for every day. It's a real pleasure to be able to get together once, 3 times a year like we do, and go over what's going on, because it's very, very enlightening and informative to me, and I think it is to most people. But what's more important than that is to build a good working relationship between our local units of government, the municipalities and the county, because we've got a lot of projects we need to work on together. And doing things like this, I think it helps us create that atmosphere of cooperation and working together. And I just say on my behalf and on behalf of the folks that I work with, we really appreciate the town helping work with us on the various projects that we've dealt with. And we look forward to continue to do this. And so this marks the 5th year, Mayor, that we've been doing this, and I think that probably breaks the last record we had some years ago. But it's a good thing, and I hope you keep doing it.
It is. You do nothing more than just put your eyes on each other a few times and just realize that we got a lot in common, got a lot of common things, and that way when you pick up the phone and you call somebody and you know them because you met them and you've had broke bread with them and stuff, it makes a big difference.
Joe, may I ask, I'm not, and if it's not the right form, we'll talk later, but how is Larry right now?
I haven't talked to his son in probably about 2 or 3 weeks. The last time I talked to him, he was the same, wasn't any better, but wasn't really improving a lot. So I don't know whether anybody else did or not, but I try to see Michael every once in a while.
So you've got Larry, of course, his former alderman.
What's his position?
He had a stroke. And maybe that was not long after he came off the board. Was
No, before he came off.
Before he came off the board.
Last summer.
Yeah,
last summer.
He had a massive stroke.
And he did come to a couple of board meetings after he came back. In fact, there was one that he was very dear to his heart that he came for, even though he shouldn't have been there. He came. His heart in the right place. So, and the other thing, I would, Mr. Chairman, I should have. I'd be remiss not saying that by saying that the mayor would send his apology not being here tonight, but he really didn't. He said that he had a choice of either trying to out-eat Ronnie Bill, which he knew he couldn't, or and go to New York and visit his new grandbaby. So
Hands down.
So hands down, the grandbaby's always.
Grandbaby's one.
If it's anything to do with Ronnie Bill or my grandbaby, I'd pick the grandbaby. Either or not, I'm Ronnie.
I'd like to say one more promising thing too. You talked a little bit about tourism, and I'm the liaison to TDC, and according to Mike Rubin this morning at our meeting, they said the tourism's up just a little bit from what it was last year, so hopefully we continue that.
That's because they can't turn, they go to Highlands.
Does everybody know where Gary's talking about where the road is? Does everybody know where that is? If you know where to turn, if you turn to go into the factory down there before you get through Denver, that's the road. That's the cut through.
There's the post office, right? That's the way you gotta go. The bridge is gonna be out. Hopefully it's finished by the 4th of July. And that's Georgia, you know how that.
You figure a way to keep that up.
Maybe we can catch all that old Edwards End overflow.
I noticed coming back yesterday, I counted 3 old Edwards ends before 77 cut through, come back to Raleigh. And
Yeah,
brand new lit billboards and dandies. It was after dark, I do it 99, I can still see it.
Don't tell her.
You know that Commissioner Haven paid the state of Georgia.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I knew.
He's in the motel business.
I'd heard that rumor.
Commissioner Tank, you have anything to add? Covered. That's all I had. Joe?
No. Go home on a good
Meeting,
note.
no, sir.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Well, I don't think let me just mention that. The mayor is the chairman
Region 8.
for Region 8 for this district, and he's doing a great job. And Joe, we appreciate the job, the leadership you've shown for the district and for all the counties in the far west. And Joe's doing a good job there. And we would love to have, the mayor most of the time tries to come to the meeting.
Yeah, he does.
And if any of you aldermen would ever like to come from Franklin or?
I've been there.
Okay, one time.
I have to have a ride.
Okay. And so,
I can't see at night.
but Joe's got
Don't
what?
put me on the
How many more
road.
meetings you got, Joe, as chairman? 3. So, but Joe's done a great job. He's representing the district well.
And the mayor did pass on one other thing, Jack. He did appreciate that discretionary check you sent up about to us. We needed that extra money. We appreciate it.
Well, you're more than welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Covers, you make a motion to adjourn?
Always.
This is for the commissioners. If you're brave enough, we voted yes and authorized, met with the DMV. You can now have a county commissioner license. But if you're brave enough, we'll put it on you.
Yeah.
You want one on your car, you just send $10 in and you're took care of.
Jackie, we need to meet him. They got a little.
No, it's just.
All right.